There are a lot of ways that one can meditate that have different effects and outcomes. The meditation practice that I found most beneficial, and in order to create a distance, a space between the mind and the stories that we have of the world that we're often living into and reality itself. So, what is actually happening beyond our stories, beyond our labels, our judgments, our opinions, our preferences, to be able to then have agency and choice in what we do and see that what our mind is telling us about the world isn't always true. We're going to use the Zazen method. That simply means sitting meditation. And it's a way of practicing coming back to presence every time that our mind drifts off into a story or a visualization. It's kind of like watching TV or having the TV on. When we're talking to somebody, I don't know if you've had the experience of sometimes going to the TV and getting distracted and then coming back. It's always playing and it's bright sounds and flashing images. And that's very much like the mind. And so we're practicing staying in presence rather than drifting off into the mind. The practice is to anticipate that the mind will take us away, or our attention will go with the mind, and simply then come back. As if you're sitting on a park bench with your dog and you're not holding on to the dog, you're not trying to control the mind, you're allowing yourself to release the leash that the dog runs off and you stay on the park bench. And there'll be times when you find yourself running after the dog, then we come back to the park bench and we simply stay in presence, noticing our sensations, noticing the quality of our breath and the sounds around. And that way we stay kind of with our hand open. Like it's like the mind is often gripping around something, trying to think or trying to not think or have certain thoughts or experiences. And this is kind of an open handedness to the content of our mind. And when we become indifferent to how the mind is, to the quality, the content, the intensity of the mind, and we let the mind be, what we find is that we're able to be then in the world, be engaged, instead of trying to fight certain scenarios and circumstances and judging it, complaining about it, making it mean something about ourselves, that we can simply be with what is and here while the mind does its thing. And ironically, what we find then is that the mind starts to quiet and calm and things become a lot more easeful. So, as we explained before, create your environment in a way that feels conducive to you really dropping in. Find a position in your body that feels noble. So we're looking for something that feels really comfortable, yet attentive. You can also begin by rolling your neck, your shoulders, to find that position in your body. This is much like when a dog will do 3 spins on the spot before he lays down. We're kind of doing 3 spins on the spot by just moving our body in any way that feels juicy and enlivening before we sit down on that park bench. Notice what position in your body feels good. There's going to be certain postures that feel better than others. I invite you to find a place where your weight of your head is over the entirety of your spine and over your pelvis. If you can feel yourself uncomfortable, you might need more cushions. You can do this seated on a chair as well. Find what works for you and what creates a comfortable position. And as you find that position of a king or queen, you're letting your mind go, just as if you were releasing the grip on a helium balloon. Your mind will go off and do its thing, and you stay. First, noticing the quality of energy in your body. What are you bringing today? What is here with you? And that could be sensations of tension, fatigue, energy, expansion, sense of calm, peace. Not judging what's here, simply coming into connection with the felt experience of what it's like inside of your body. As you do this, you might also notice that your breath deepens or softens. You might notice that it speeds up as you come into contact with your feelings. Simply notice. This meditation is about resisting the urge to be involved in your thoughts and feelings. Notice what happens when you become indifferent to your experience, which is another way of saying acceptance or complete non-resistance. Notice if there's any tension being held in the face, shoulders, the abdomen, the legs or arms, even around your sexual organs or around your asshole. Sometimes you can be holding tension there. Might be a funny thing to say, but it's true. Keeping that structure in your body as you relax. And now, simultaneously as you notice your inner world, the sensations in your body, the quality of your breath, open your attention also to the sounds that you hear around you, as loud or as faint as they may be. And this isn't about trying to find more peace or quiet the mind. We are doing less rather than more. We are refusing to involve ourselves so that we can simply observe and be with our experience as it is. So if there's any loud noises, or there's a fly bothering you, or even some busy thoughts, all of that is welcome. None of it is outside of what is allowed in this practice or what should be. We're letting go of any ideas of how things should or shouldn't be, any need to control, and simply noticing. Notice the difference, the distinction between this moment that you're in and the visualizations and stories and thoughts of the mind. That they are two completely separate things, different things. Notice how you can be having an inner experience that has very little bearing on the current physical experience. Notice even the subtlety of your mind imagining the space that you're in. It almost feels, and sometimes it feels like you can actually see the space that you're in. Notice how subtle that mind's visualization is. You are experiencing the mind creating that sense of being in the space that you're in, despite not being able to see it as your direct experience. It takes a little bit of courage, trust, and practice to be uninvolved with the mind. And with time, you'll find a freedom that allows you to not get caught up and entangled with the content of your mind. To really see thoughts as thoughts, stories as stories, and be in the moment that you're in, free of judgment, opinion, preference, analysis, or evaluation. Take a generous breath in here. Thank you for joining me in this Zazen practice. Looking forward to seeing you in the next few.